Hello and welcome to another day of the Global Littlewargame League 2024 inaugural season. I'm glad to be back today. Just want to, before we get into that, here's the map pool once again. Today we'll be finishing up the semifinals of the Alpha League. Here's what it looks like at the moment. We're waiting in the finals for the winner of today's match. It's going to be between MatthewN and avocadolord, and this is going to be in a very exciting, very tightly contested match, in my opinion. Avocadolord and MatthewN are both some of the more relatively newcomers into the Littlewargame scene, but both of them are very, very strong. Avocadolord perhaps a little bit more of that beast player, whereas MatthewN a little bit more of the Rax mech sort of player. We'll see how their two styles will clash, and let's get straight into it. The first map will be Xenos. Once again, I do not have the map bans, unfortunately, but let's hop right into it. Starting with the first map on Xenos, and spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, in the red, it is MatthewN. And spawning in the top right-hand side of Xenos, it's avocadolord. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about these two players and how they tend to play. I feel like MatthewN is a bit more of a, I guess, a versatile player. Maybe not versatile. What's the word I'm looking for? Probably something like a bit more unexpected, a bit more willing to take risks. Like he's known for doing some crazy builds that some other people might not go for. He's done like the immediately fortress into Dragon's Lair, that sort of build, and yeah, I'd generally say MatthewN is probably gonna be looking to play the role of the aggressor in this match, whereas avocadolord, I feel like, is a bit more standard, wants to just kind of take it to a macro game and win from there. MatthewN going for a faster house, faster racks, is going to be a little bit slightly behind economically. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. Both players opening up with a Rax opening. We'll see how this goes. One thing to note is that if both players do go for this Rax opening and Raider shenanigans ensue, there's a lot of mind games with that, in this fact that if, let's say, you take the advantage and you win the Raider War in one of the games, your opponent is probably thinking, oh, he won the Raider War, should I really go for it again next game, that sort of thing. But we're a long ways from that as of yet, and so let's just see how this particular game one pans out. We have a Raider out of MatthewN, and I'm going to guess a Raider out of avocadolord as well. This is an interesting rally point, but I'm not sure if that is actually going to continue to be there, but we'll have to find out. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I guess I've talked a lot about Xenos in the previous maps, or the previous matches, but you know what? We'll do it again. Third bases are hard to take, especially against mech, because of the potential of cata drops. Very, very dangerous. And then there's this middle center of the road. If you're, you can put like a unit here and a unit here on these ledges just to take a look at any sort of run by or any sort of move out in the middle of the map. You can also take down all these destructible buildings, these forges, to create additional new path attack lines. And it's really hard to attack up the ramp into your opponent's side of the map, especially if they're ready on top of the map. Both players gonna go for what I'm gonna call, what is it called? Who did it? Madurg? I think Madurg did this, where he kept the Raider on his side of the map and got the 2 versus 1. We'll see if this is gonna work out. We'll have to find out. Both players just gonna play a little bit passively as of now. The castle's going down at approximately the same time for both players as well. We have an archer on the way for avocadolord, so only gonna go for 2 raiders as of yet, yeah, we'll see how this goes. So this could potentially be a 2v1 for avocadolord. He does need to get the first hit, gets the second hit. No flash away. Now the double flash, but is still gonna get an extra hit. Ooh, okay, so this is actually looking a little bit better for MatthewN for some reason. Is gonna flash, but does miss because good joking out of avocadolord. Did not quite chase with this as well. So while avocadolord had a very nice situation, unfortunately losing out on that raider battle, that is definitely a mistake out of avocadolord. We have this raider coming in, is gonna see the scout, is gonna get the scout, is gonna see the castle timing. Could have probably walked in and punched the archer, but instead does not. This is a risky flash from avocadolord. He should have. I think it would have been worth it if he did actually get that raider. Unfortunately did not, and that does mean MatthewN is gonna, okay, a little bit of a missed flash. It did get the hit, but it wasn't quite in the right position, so that does mean that this raider from avocadolord is gonna be able to escape unless this raider is able to cut it off. So this is very, very nice. I think he will be able to get it, and that will probably making 2-0 unless, okay, this is a bit of a mistake out of avocadolord, taking a little bit too much free damage and misses the flash on this side as well. So not the best out of both these players. Good circle around out of avocadolord, but the double flash is going to be able to get that, and these archers are a little bit out of position. Where are the additional archers? There aren't any. Good target fire out of avocadolord, trying to get that weakened raider. Unfortunately not able to get that. He's going to pull that archer all the way back to the backhand side, but it's not going to work out, and this is an absolute masterclass of a raider versus raider fight in the early game for MatthewN. It did look like avocadolord was in a better position with that first raider, but yeah, this is just snowballing a little bit out of control. 2 raiders going down as well as 2 archers so far, and that is not the start you want if you are avocadolord. This is obviously not ideal. At the same time, MatthewN is feeling like, okay, I can just take a castle, I'll be totally fine from here, and that's exactly what he's doing. This is still very difficult for avocadolord to completely clean up. Needs to pull all the workers. Does want to try to target that weakened raider down. Is not going to be able to get that. Good flash away out of MatthewN here, and this is looking very, very good. We do have that second Rex on the way for or complete for avocadolord. He created that when he felt like he needed to do so from the raider pressure, whereas MatthewN is going to go for a second Rex and a workshop at the same time. So yeah, this is just an excellent start out for MatthewN here. Is going to go flash in with that raider. I don't think that second flash was absolutely necessary, but it's not a huge deal. Is going to see that second Rax. Is going to try to see if there's anything else, but there's actually nothing else to scout. So, oh well, it is what it is. Yeah, he just scouts pretty much the entire main base except for this portion, and he might be a little bit weary because this is quite a bit of money that is not being accounted for, quote unquote, but he does need to keep in mind that he did kill those units in the early game, so he did kill 460 gold worth of units. So MatthewN might be a little bit weary of something potentially going on. Yeah, he might be looking to play a lot more defensively than he needs to, but I do think that's going to be all right. This raider might be a pickup. Good move out of avocadolord, not attacking until he was right up into it, but is going to be able to double flash out. Very, very nice heads up play out of both players there. But MatthewN is in a very, very good position. He has a third base that has been up and running for a very long time, has the infrastructure to basically counter any sort of play from avocadolord, and it's looking very, very good. Looks like avocadolord attempting to take a third base. This is going to be significantly later than MatthewN, but I guess it's kind of what you have to do. Perhaps he could have tried to go for some sort of 2-base all-in, but I guess with the raiders around, it's very likely that they are going to be scouted, and this is looking like a dire situation for avocadolord here. Looks like this is a bit of a interesting run by. I do like this, but I'm not sure if this is going to be able to get the surprise value on the other side of the map. MatthewN does have a sizable number of archers as well as a catapult that is about to finish. This raider is going to scout this third base attempt as well. Avocadolord going to send some archers over there to deal with that raider. These raiders should also know that they should be a little bit weary of where that army is. This army is going to show itself attacking the house. This is a very nice house position for MatthewN here. It's going to give a lot of prior warning for MatthewN, and yeah, this is just not going to work out. to allies, unfortunately, it is going to say GG well played, so MatthewN is not going to be able to see that, but that is going to be the end of game 1, and MatthewN absolutely demolishing in the early stages of the game. And let's head on to game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Cursed Temple. All right. Spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Up 1-0. So let me fix that. It is MatthewN. With some, with some excellent raider control. Very, very nice. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's avocadolord. Yeah, and so this is when the sort of mind games start to take place. Like, if you're avocadolord and you lose that raider battle so convincingly, do you start to think, okay, maybe I can't go raiders against this person. Maybe I have to do something else. Or do you kind of stick to your guns and say, I'll just have to go for it. I can do better. I'm just aware of what he's gonna do, and we'll play on from there. I don't know. We'll have to see what these players attempt to do, what their decisions will be, and we'll find out on this map, Cursed Temple. We have Arax on the way for MatthewN. Looks like we're gonna see the same, perhaps? Yes, indeed. So it is going to be a Rax versus Rax opening once again. And the last time that happened, MatthewN, of course, got the better end with some excellent Raider micro. It was looking really good for avocadolord initially. He had the 2-on-1 because the second Raider for Matthew was not quite on the way. It was a little bit lagging behind when he went up the ramp. But somehow MatthewN able to turn that around into a winning situation. And I guess partially that was due to the fact that he did go for 3 Raiders, whereas avocadolord stopped at 2. So there is that, but still, some excellent micro, and was able to take that. Okay, so we have Raider once again for MatthewN, and I assume we'll probably see the same over here for avocadolord. Yes, indeed we are, and once again it's a bit of a mirror, and this is a mirror image from game 1, but on a different map. I would say this map is probably a little bit more difficult for these raiders to get that much value, I feel like. Yes, you can flash over here, and that is very, very nice, but there's not enough angles, there's only 2 main angles into the natural base, and that does mean that you're probably likely to not be able to get the scouting if the archer player is on top of things. Unlike in Xenos where you had like 3 different attack paths as well, there's only really 2 in on this map, unless you want to go all the way around, but like 2 from the main base or the natural. Early first attack from avocadolord. He does need to flash out. Yep, there you go. Very, very nice. This is so far a very good start for avocadolord, but is going to be able to flash away is MatthewN here. He does need to be wary because that second Raider is going to be much faster. Yep, he's just going to pull away. I do think that it was very poor out of MatthewN. He was move commanding versus the A move, and he just kind of lost a free hit there. Avocadolord not quite able to hold that free hit advantage until the end, but that's okay. We have two raiders out of both players, and then going into actually cancels the archer and then goes into a third raider. A little bit of a free hit over here for avocadolord. So avocadolord doing a lot better than the previous game, so he's feeling a lot better in this game with the raider, it seems like. This time Matthew is going to be the one who is transitioning into archers first. Avocadolord just going to go for additional raiders, and that's how it's going to go. MatthewN throwing down a workshop. This is going to be the first divergence or first real divergence, so this kind of signals to me that he's probably looking to do some sort of 2 base push. We'll see if avocadolord will be able to scout that and react accordingly, but yeah, we'll have to find out. Workers being pulled for both sides, and it's gonna be just a game on from here. This is gonna be very, very interesting. This workshop is actually pretty powerful on this map, just because it is very, very it's a pretty short rush distance. Additionally, you can if you're against Beast, for example, you can like wall this off very, very well. This is gonna be 3 raiders versus 2, and that means that this should be favored for avocadolord, but a flash away in a heartbeat for MatthewN, not taking as much damage as he could have. So good reaction times out of Matthew there. These raiders need to do this scouting, though. So they do need to see this workshop. avocadolord looking to take a 3rd base, and we'll see if he's able to hold on to that once he realizes and recognizes what's going on. What would be nice is I would like to see him split off one of those raiders, to the bottom side, just to get that scout into the main base. But MatthewN obviously right now is ready for that with the 2 raiders on the top side. Additionally, is adding on another rack, so is going to go hard committing into this 2 base push. avocadolord also not scouting the 3rd base of MatthewN just yet, so that might be a big potential signal that he's missing. Okay, that is going to go down. Doesn't quite have enough flash or energy for the flash. That's a very good pickoff for avocadolord, but it really does need to get wind of what's going on. We have a wolves den on the way. That is going to be for wolves, obviously, and it's going to allow avocadolord to get that get a handful of units. These raiders aren't going to come in, just snipe a worker and get out, but sniping a worker is nice, but he really needs to figure out what's going on, right? This is serious, right? If you have a raider on the 3rd, on this 3rd as well, you can kind of tell. I don't know. This feels like a missed opportunity. Maybe he's gonna go for it here. Good preemptive flash over here. Maybe avocadolord heard that, and that's why he's being a little bit hesitant. I also do like that he pulled a few more workers into the 3rd, into the natural base. Just to get that. We have 2 wolves dens on the way, so it is not just going to be 1. Okay, this is a bit of a mistake for sure. These raiders going out of their way to try to see if there's a 3rd base didn't need to pull all of them, only needed to pull 2 in my opinion, and that does mean that this is an opportunity for MatthewN to get across the map unnoticed, and it looks like that's what he's going to attempt to do. No, yeah, exactly, and this is going to be perhaps very, very blindsiding because he hasn't seen anything right now. He's going to come in at the right time to see that these catapults are going to be actually exposed, so maybe he could have sniped one of them. Not quite, because the archers are here. I do like that he's bringing these workers for the repair. avocadolord should know what's up. He needs to defend this, and it's going to be a very tough hold. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he has at home. He does have an advanced workshop. Maybe he's getting the wrong idea. Maybe he thinks it's some sort of cata drop, but when it is a frontal full-on push, we do have a snipe onto the raider. That's very good. That's going to be very nice. But that does mean that's a lot of flashes being burnt. That is 6 flashes that was burnt for a single raider, and hasn't quite gotten it just yet. These archers are going to try to come back to save that raider. These wolves are going to see that it does get a raider of their own for MatthewN. This is looking very, very scary for avocadolord here. These wolves going to try to come in to do a little bit of delaying. Does need to try to target down these workers, because these workers are the ones that are absolutely going to add to that longevity. They can repair the units, they can potentially put down towers. This advanced workshop is probably not the ideal situation, because it's not really going to help you on this side, and in this fight it just doesn't do anything. And this is going to be a very, very tough hold. It's going to be, he needs to pull all his workers. He needs to get a huge surround with these wolves. He's going to throw down a tower right now, but that's a little bit too late. And I feel like it's just not good against these catapults, because the catapults can absolutely burn them down. This raider is overstepping its boundaries a little bit. Almost gets taken down by the wolves. Good flash forward by the raiders. These raiders should probably just chill over here and just pick off any reinforcements. But this is a very scary push anyways. We have a bit of a surround coming in. This might be a little bit prematurely. I would have liked to see some workers being pulled at the same time. You need to target down the archers, I believe, as well as the workers. But this is going to be a very, very difficult hold. This is a great position for these workers as well. I would have liked to see this worker also being a little bit closer to these catapults to repair them. These catapults cannot shoot at anything right now, and it looks like avocadolord might be able to hold this, but this tower is almost up at the same time. The catapults have gone down. The archers are starting to fall, and it looks like avocadolord is going to hold on to this, and honestly, this felt like this was going to be a lot more difficult than it looked. But he holds it very beautifully. Did lose a single house for it. Does lose a whole bunch of these wolves. Did lose his raiders, but all in all, that was a very nice hold. Like, big props, big props. I think this was a lot more scarier than it really. Yeah, it felt a lot more scary than it turned out to be. Good target fire out of MatthewN, going to take down that archer, and that does mean with that push being absolutely stopped, avocadolord in an excellent position. Yeah, just shutting down that really, really well. One tiny thing to note is that MatthewN probably didn't want to put the tower here. You can actually just counter tower from the top, so that's just something to note. But yeah, avocadolord does have a third base. MatthewN does not, and this is a very nice pickoff if he gets it. We have these archers in preparation for this airship. Okay, yeah, it's just gonna run away with that airship or fly away, I guess. And avocadolord in a commanding situation over here. I really do think this I don't know. Maybe if he had tried to do a little bit more Sim City with the workers, like had he tried to limit the surface area of the wolves with like a workshop, something like that, maybe that could have been a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this might be a huge pickoff though. Avocadolord is gonna react in time though. He's gonna start dropping. I don't know. I don't think you need to drop there, but oh well. Is going to try to come in and get a little bit of damage off. And then he's just going to pick up and leave. I like that MatthewN, this is a small detail, but he only showed half of his archers here. And also, he tried to only show half of his archers here, right? So he's kind of trying to undersell the follow-up all-in off of 2 bases. And it looks like avocadolord realizes no third base on the way. Gonna put down another tower, gonna throw down a workshop, and he's gonna be much more well-prepared against this secondary push. It's gonna be harder, it's gonna hit harder, but I do think that avocadolord is much better prepared. Does ideally want to have a wolf at this side, just for that vision, just to see when this push is coming. But he's gonna do that now, but I feel like he could have done that a little bit earlier. He's gonna see this push coming. He's gonna see basically the size of it, not anymore because it was on the wrong thing. But yeah, he's gonna see. He knows what's coming. He needs to consolidate his forces and try to hold this. This workshop isn't quite done. This catapult is not gonna come into play until I'd say nearly when the fight is over, more or less. But we do have 2 layers of. Layers, 2 sets of towers here. I do like this wolf drop from behind. He's going to drop onto the low ground over there. A little bit of a map thing over here. But now MatthewN is aware of that, so is going to be looking to avoid a surround from the backside. And yeah, we'll see how this push goes. These catapults going to try to come in and start to pound down on this watchtower, excuse me. And avocadolord going to be a little bit more patient. He's going to throw down another watchtower from the back. He's going to try to wait for his own catapults, and I think that's a great play. Also trying to get the drop on this catapult over here as well. That's a great idea. I would prefer just charting down the workers here. He's going to try to come in from both sides. I might be a little bit premature because this is a pretty good solid hold position for MatthewN here. But it's looking like avocadolord might have enough. This might be enough. I don't know. It's going to be really cool, tough to say. I would like to see this catapult just chill on this high ground over here. Avocadolord just going to back off a little bit, just wait for a little bit more units. Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit premature from pulling the trigger here for avocadolord. He is going to throw down yet another just regular workshop, not an advanced workshop. And here we go again. This is a better surround, but there are less units here for avocadolord. This might be a little bit sloppy because he wasted all those he lost all those wolves earlier on, but at the same time we do have a couple of catapults being a little bit annoying. I do think that MatthewN does have a little bit too much though. Yeah, I feel like avocadolord pulling the trigger when MatthewN's army was over here was too preemptive, right? He was fighting that a little bit too early, didn't get the full surround that he wanted, and now he doesn't have enough to defend at this doorstep. So yes, it bought him a little bit of time, but it's looking really dire over here. Does need to keep these catapults alive. These are the absolute backbone of this defense. Right now, we also have a third base on the way for MatthewN. Was able to successfully get that off. So this is not, an absolutely eggs in all in this one basket kind of thing. Still has some like a backup plan. So that is very interesting to note. It's not just a 2-base all-in. There is a transition. So even if avocadolord does hold this, it is not the end of the world for MatthewN. He does have that future. He does have future prospects. Ooh, that could have been a pick-off for of the airship. Looks like MatthewN is going to transition to try to attack into the third base. I'm not quite sure how I like that fight, because you're going to lose all these reinforcements potentially. You also were doing quite a bit of damage over here. Maybe had he... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was the best idea over here. A little bit of friendly fire out of avocadolord. He needs to target fire these catapults with the catapults. That is crucial. It's gonna pull all the workers to try to hold on to this. It's looking very, very dire though. This is really surprising because I feel like the first push was a lot more harder to defend, whereas this second push it felt like it was a little bit easier to defend. He had a little bit more prior knowledge. He was a little bit more aware of it, but it's looking like he's having a bit of a more difficult time. This third base is up and running for MatthewN at the same time. Yeah, it looks like MatthewN in a very nice position. Yeah, at the same time, we do have, we just do have a lot of production for avocadolord. 4 wolves den worth of production, as well as 2 workshops. That is going to be a lot of units. And also, he didn't lose those workers at the top. He did save them, so that is going to be very important. We do have this airship giving vision for avocadolord, which is very, very nice. We do have a 4th base on the way for MatthewN. This might be a little bit risky, but I don't hate it. Only it becomes risky if avocadolord is able to just completely shut this down and then go for a counterattack. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. We have additional workshops on the way. Where is it? Oh no, that's this one over here for the wall over here. That's a very nice wall, by the way. Using great use of the map geometry here. Looks like he's going to be able to take down this third base, which is a very big. I feel like avocadolord could be throwing one down at this side over here while this is going on, just to have a backup quote-unquote base. It looks like he's going to be able to hold this, though. A little bit of... The issue with this sort of play is that it's really hard to reinforce your units once they come... once it gets cut off, right? All the reinforcements from MatthewN are just kind of at home. They're not able to actually join up with this army, which does mean that eventually, with the production, avocadolord is able to hold this. And he's also... holding his third base at the same time, so he did lose a lot of mining time. He was almost... Oh, that's a little bit of friendly fire that you don't want to be taking. He almost lost this, but yeah, he does hold. But at the same time, we have a 4th base on for MatthewN. We have additional racks coming in. We have upgrades potentially on the way. So it's not the end of the world that this fight did not end up working. But it is, it is significant. It is a significant amount of damage. It could have been a lot better, in my opinion, but it's still okay. And that does mean that this counterattack is going to be very, very deadly. So this is a lot of catapults. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, as well as a huge number of wolves. It's going to be very, very difficult for MatthewN here to defend, especially because he only has a single catapult. I feel like he wasn't producing catapults while this was going on, while his push was going on, because he only has 1 at home, and I don't think he was he wasn't rallying them across. So seems like a bit of a mistake, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the thing for MatthewN is that he can lose one of his bases and still be totally fine. These workers aren't actually okay. They were trying to... Oh, this is a very nice pick potentially for MatthewN here. These soldiers. He's going to try to bait a little bit of that friendly fire. Could have done a little bit of a better job of that, in my opinion, but still a very nice pick off. And is going to regain control of this high ground. So I do think that was a pretty nice hold. MatthewN holding onto the 4th bases, but avocadolord also going for his 4th base is going to put... Oh, this is very cute. He's going to go for an animal testing lab as well, trying to go for upgrades. Mine out of the main. Oh, not quite. It was a bit of a catted problem, looks like. And yeah, very nice pick off out of avocadolord with these catapults, looking to do a little bit more damage over here, but it hasn't quite dropped them just yet. And yeah, this is a little bit of a disjointed targeted attack from MatthewN is gonna. Ooh, but that's a lot of friendly fire though. I was gonna say he was not taking the best fight. At the same time, with this Cata drop trying to do a little bit of damage, trying to focus. You want to try to focus down those archers. Not gonna happen right now. This airship just gonna try to run away. But this is a lot of catapults, and they haven't been really. The number of those hasn't been actually really going down. So yeah, it's still looking a little bit dire here for MatthewN. We do have this tower just peppering down that, which is really cool, but I don't know, it's not very like significantly threatening, so that's you know, it's whatever. But yeah, this is the more bigger threat at the moment. We have catapults everywhere. Yeah, this is looking very scary, and MatthewN is kind of the thing with going for all these archers is that you can't really use these archers in a very significant manner against the wolf catapult army, because number one, you can't really get close, you can't really dodge the catapult shots if the wolves have you surrounded, right? That's sort of the idea. And also, you know, ideally, if you want to try to do drag your opponent's catapult shots into his army, you kind of do that with soldiers generally, right? So yeah, I think this is looking like MatthewN is not going to be able to hold. You know, avocadolord's still doing a little bit of damage with this Cata drop, and he still has a huge standing army at this third base of MatthewN, and I do think this is going to be it. Yeah, I do think this is going to be it. This tower is going to throw down a, take down a, what's it called? A house, and that's it. But yeah, this is looking like this just might be the end. This is a very cute watchtower. Again, just trying to go for that not advanced, animal testing lab. But that's not going to matter in this map, I feel like. We also have, you know, this Cata drop still doing a little bit of damage. These archers are eventually going to chase it away. It looks like 22 health. Yeah, 22 health. Does escape, but is going to lose that catapult. Yeah, MatthewN is unfortunately too far behind to actually get back into this, in my opinion. Yeah, and more wolves coming in. We have just too many catapults right now, I think. I really do think that it was really funny for me, because in my mind it felt like that second follow-up push that MatthewN did was, it should have been, you know, easier for avocadolord to scout and hold onto, but it ended up that he had a more difficult time of doing that. But yeah, eventually he holds on. He just had too much economy from, you know, getting that third base a little bit earlier, and after having successfully defended the first time, right? So a little bit of friendly fire here, which is very nice if you're MatthewN. But yeah, it kind of felt like a little bit weird for me for some reason. We do have a little bit of a counterattack. I do like this, but there are already watchtowers in place to defend against that, and there's not really anything to defend against this huge army over here. A couple of catapults and a couple of soldiers, but that's not going to be enough. Yeah, a little bit of Q fire over here, but Q firing onto literally nothing. Just the ground, and this army is looking absolutely huge. This counterattack is trying to do a little bit of something, but there already are two towers over here, as well as the reinforcements should be able to deal with that. I do like that MatthewN did put some catapults on the high ground over here to try to do a little bit more of a better defensive location, but yeah, this just might be it. These archers looks like did target down that airship, which is very nice, but yeah, there's nothing really to deal with this mech beast army, and with the catapult spawning, this counterattack will be shut down as well, and that might be it. Avocadolord is taking a 5th base at the same time. He's just ahead in every single aspect in this game. GG is called, and avocadolord ties it up with a very nice hold against the 2-base all-in, or I guess the 2 stages of the 2-base all-in of MatthewN. Very nice. We're going to head into game number 3. All right, heading into game number 3, it's going to be on Ravaged. We'll see how this goes. Spawning in the top left-hand side of the map, MatthewN. He went for a bit of a Bit of a cheeky play, but was shut down by his opponent in the bottom right-hand side. It's avocadolord. Game 3, yes indeed. Yeah, and this kind of shows, or at least in my mind, it kind of shows you the difference between these two players. MatthewN is more likely to do these sort of initiative-based plays where he's trying to do something. He's trying to do some sort of push, trying to do some sort of whatever, and forcing his opponent to respond. Whereas avocadolord is much more content to say, I'll just, weather the storm. I'll dodge every single punch that you throw at me or parry them, and then I'll just win from there. So you can kind of see the two styles of these players clashing a little bit. And we do have a very interesting worker being sent out for MatthewN. I wonder what this is going to be for. Is it just a scout? Because this feels like it's a little bit too late for a proxy, because he already has that money, is already throwing down that the racks at home. I don't know what this is for, but we're going to have to find out. Perhaps it's going to be some sort of late proxy, so it's going to proxy his second building, or it might just be a scout. But racks on the way for both of these players. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Judging from the direction, it looks like it is going to be some sort of proxy. What kind? We'll have to find out. If I had to guess, probably a 2-racks, but it is being sent into this specific corner, and this is also a very interesting corner because it is a very close by air. You can also do the glitch into the main if you do the... what's it called? Yeah. Okay. It looks like it's gonna be the werewolf build, where you can wall off the sides of this, where with additional buildings you throw down a werewolf den, and then there's nowhere for the werewolf to spawn but inside your opponent's main base. But this is a very risky build. If your opponent does catch wind of it, it is basically game over. You can just shut this down really easily with a single tower on the high ground. We'll see how this goes. This is going to come down to, is avocadolord going to be able to figure this out? And if so, how is he going to respond? Or is he going to, respond in the correct way? We have raiders for both players, and we'll see how the raider fight is going to go this game. First game started off kind of well for avocadolord, but MatthewN was absolutely dominating by the end of it. I think killed 2 raiders as well as 3 archers for absolutely free. Whereas in game 2, avocadolord had a slight advantage. We have that werewolf den on the way. This is going to be in lieu of that second raider, so the second raider will be delayed. That is something to be aware of. So that does mean avocadolord will have a 2 versus 1 for quite a while. He's going to try to get this third base, or the natural base, at the same time. And we'll see how this raider fight goes. Okay, both players being very, very passive. I do like the idea that you kind of want to be passive if you're MatthewN. You want to play, okay. So it is going to be a advanced workshop, so he's going to try to drop into the main at the same time as well. I do think that's actually not that bad, because you can actually probably just wall that off with a house, and you can still get that value, but you can also have the follow-up for of airships. So it's going to be a very exciting build, a free plan build out of MatthewN. We'll see how this goes. That raider is forced to flash out to the left. That does mean that it looks like avocadolord is going to try to go across the map with these raiders. Generally, you want to keep with your one raider, you want to try to keep your opponents on his side of the map, and because if he goes across the map, he's going to sniff that something is off. And we'll see how this goes, because he's going to come in, he's going to see no natural, and he might even get this raider kill as well. So it's going to be really dicey. But it's also going to be really dicey for avocadolord if he doesn't realize what this is, because just because you don't see this natural base doesn't mean that you know what's up. It doesn't actually quite... Okay, he sees up to here, but the castle could theoretically be here. It could theoretically be here. So maybe he's not quite aware of it just now. Ooh, this might be a huge pick-off. Doesn't actually go for it. This might be a very nice bait for MatthewN. Maybe he's like, oh, here's this raider. You can try to get it. Okay, so he's going to throw down a watchtower in the natural base, but that might not be that's not going to be where the actual threat is going to be. This raider looks like it might be able to scout it. No, not quite. It's going to turn around. So far, avocadolord does know something is up. Did see that there's no natural base. Of course, this is not a perfect scout, so it's not 100% guaranteed. Ooh, we do see... Okay, Yeah, I love that MatthewN is being active with this single raider. It's keeping avocadolord very busy. But yeah, here's that werewolf coming into the main base. So far, no reaction. Gonna get a huge smash off. Does react at the last second, but that also does mean that he is gonna take a little bit of damage. Not just a little bit, quite a bit of damage. We do have this tower almost complete in the natural, and we do have a handful of raiders too. These raiders are actually surprisingly good against the werewolves because of that armor, and that does mean that it is going to be just one base essentially of economy of mining for avocadolord. We do have an advanced workshop on the way. I think that is a smart decision. I need to shut down that airship some way, shape, or form, and these raiders couldn't flash in. Yeah, that's a very nice start. Does get a smash off, but not the end of the world. I think this is very difficult to come in and fight because of the airship, because of that micro potential. I think you just kind of don't want to fight this if you're avocadolord. I think you try to just go across the map, deny the natural, try to find maybe the werewolves den and try to shut it down. And here's that second werewolf, and with that, I think you have to go back to your natural. You can't fight over here. Yeah, okay, no. MatthewN also just continued to do this. He is supply block. This is a very significant supply block because he's, yeah, okay, there you go. He's going to go for it now. But I do think that so far, I do feel like this is not the end of the world for either player. It's just going to come down to who's better at micro, who's better at crisis management. So far, it looks like maybe MatthewN might be getting the better end. We'll have to see. Good smash over there, getting 5 units over there and not losing. He basically took like 2 hits or something like that. What happened to that wolf? Did he just cancel it? Yeah, it looks like he canceled it. Okay. I would like to see even just this worker coming in to maybe like throw down a tower or something. Ooh, this werewolf is out of smash. And that does mean, okay, he's going to pick it up. He does want to try to snipe that. Okay, very nice snipe with that. He's going to smash with the other werewolf as well. This is going to be looking a little bit dangerous. Does pick that off. So far, MatthewN with some excellent micro hasn't lost a single werewolf just yet, whereas avocadolord has lost some looks like 2 raiders. If I had to guess, 2 raiders. Yep, there we go. 2 raiders and 2 workers. So it's looking very good here. But we do have this ballista on the way. It's not quite complete just yet, but it is on the way. That is something to note. MatthewN still trying to do a little bit of denial. I love that he's just hold positioning on this high ground over here and just chilling, saying you can't come up this ramp. He's going to try to flash up, but you need the vision to do that, unfortunately. Could have tried to get the vision with that worker that just spawned, but did not choose to do so. So he's not gonna be able to do that. Yeah, this is gonna be really risky. He needs to bring this ballista in to try to get rid of this airship. Yeah, he needs to be, and this castle actually might go down. That's gonna be very, very nice. Looks like MatthewN so far not looking to go for a base just yet. Might be looking to do that right about now. Perhaps he's floating quite a bit of money. Is that what he's gonna go for? We'll have to find out. Ooh, also this work. What is this worker gonna do? What is the idea behind this worker? Okay, tower on the high ground. I do like this, but I feel like this might not work out if avocadolord is aware of this. He's gonna try to go for the production. I feel like he could have had this. He could have done this a little bit earlier. The main base does go down. He's gonna lose that werewolf. Ooh, a little bit sloppy there from missing the flash away from avocadolord. He's gonna have this ballista airship to try to chase down this airship. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a hold in the end, and I think MatthewN is overstaying his welcome just a little bit. Does need to pick that up. Yeah, there we go. MatthewN also is deciding to leave these werewolves on the high ground here. So that is something to be aware of. Is barely going to escape. Okay, that is interesting. I'm not quite sure about this decision. I feel like, yeah, maybe you cancel this werewolf, but maybe you don't. He's just going to get a 3rd one into the main base. That's going to be really dire. MatthewN also throwing down a tower in the main base. Oh, this is going to be, okay. You can just power this watchtower down because, yeah, you're not going to be able to repair that in time. And also, this tower is actually posing to be a little bit of a problem. I thought this wouldn't do too much, but it looks like it has the potential to do a lot. But MatthewN is going to be out of production. He's not going to be able to produce anything right now. He has no production buildings at home except for this one Rax, and that's not going to be quite enough, I feel like. You could be long distance mining if you have Avocadolord from this third base, but yeah, this is going to be... Where's his army? It's still trying to deal with this. Okay. What is... I think if Avocadolord tries to just target down the castle, I think that'd be the best play. Instead, did get this, I guess, house first. Maybe he thought that was the best play. Okay, so we're going to go into a bit of a base race scenario, right? So we have a single tower at home. We do have some archers, you know, but Avocadolord is saying, I'm just going to kill all your buildings and try to win from there. But this tower and this house is going to be huge. And because... he needs to get these down for an elimination victory eventually. Let's get that raider, and that is also going to be some very cool information, or very crucial information, excuse me. What is this house going to do, or worker going to do? Is that going to throw down a castle on the top right-hand side? If I had to guess, that's exactly what it is. Does not want to... Okay, there we go. Okay, this is very, very exciting. Does good pick off of that raider. Does need to flash that raider away as well, I think. Is not going to need to do so. It looks like this is going to be a very tense situation. I do love that he tried to full wall this. It did MatthewN. Avocadolord can pick up and go to the main. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. There's also a ballista that is going to be, you know, picking up a little bit of that cargo supply. Avocadolord is going to lose all these buildings, but he does have that castle in the top left right hand side. MatthewN throwing down a castle in the that's on the bottom right hand side as well, swapping mains more or less, kind of less actually, but you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. I really think that the werewolves win this in a straight up fight, right? So as Avocadolord, you need to try to absolutely just win this game through elimination, but also you can't really just take a straight up fight, so you can't really make a last stand. So I'm not quite sure if this this base was actually the best play, but it might be worth it because he does have a lot of workers and he might be able to just produce a ton. MatthewN is going to pick up two of these werewolves and try to come home and defend, and I think that might be the best choice. We'll have to find out if this does pay off. So this house is going to be the last house that is going to go down, but we do have mining going to be resumed at the same time. How many workers does MatthewN have? A single one, and that is the one over here just building that castle up. So this is a very nice pick-off. Is going to pick off that worker. Avocadolord using this. What is this airship going to do? Okay, this is very significant. This airship not being in position is going to be really huge. This is going to be a very tough fight. I think if you lose all these units, you're just kind of dead. He's going to try to pick off what he has and just leave. Oh no! Oh no! That was a huge mistake. Just getting all these units trapped. And the thing is, with these units, or with yeah, like. These werewolves are really good in small numbers. You know, the bigger the army, you know, you can just shut down these werewolves just by killing them before they come. But in this specific case, the werewolves will be microed back by the airships. They can also regen health. This is looking like a very, very nice situation for MatthewN here. It looks like he's going to take the victory over here. I guess the only thing is, can Avocadolord survive? He's going to throw down some houses. I feel like maybe he should have tried to just put down some towers so that he doesn't die here. And I really don't think this was the best play. I feel like, yes, you need to unsupply rock yourself. That's very, very important. But I think maybe just putting some towers just to not die to the werewolves, you know, that might be important. This werewolf is also on a path. I think it might be able to scout that top right-hand side. He's going to throw down a tower. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake here. I'm not going to, yeah, it's going to fix that right now. This raider should be probably going into the main base over here to take a look at any of that. This airship is going to try to chase down the other airship. This airship is going to scatter around, and here is that. Okay, the towers are coming down, but this is a little bit too late. This werewolf is going to come in and try to get a huge smash. I feel like has a big potential to just walk up to the mineral line and is going to get a huge smash. That's going to do a ton of damage. Oh my goodness, that is an insane amount of damage. 13 kills for this werewolf, and yeah. So if he had gone for these towers first, I feel like he would have held this pretty easily too. But right now, having gone for these houses first, I think this might just be it. There's just nothing to deal with this. Yeah, I think this just might be it. Yeah, so the werewolf chi is working out here for MatthewN. Doesn't need to repair that. Instead, you're gonna try to bring up another tower. Is gonna pull all these archers in. Doesn't want to get smashed. Does need to be careful about that. This ballista is very weak, and with the additional werewolves coming in from the backside, I think this just might be it. The towers aren't done, and there's just nothing left here over here. For MatthewN, or for avocadolord. MatthewN is going to take this game in a very epic game number 3. I do love this, putting the archers into the backside, but you can actually smash through this. GG, well played. GG, werewolf perhaps. And that does mean MatthewN is going to take game number 3 in an epic base trade scenario. Yeah, that was really exciting. That was, heart-stopping for both players, if I had to guess. That does mean that MatthewN is going to be on game point. Let's go into game number 4, potentially the last game in this series. It's going to be on ice cold. And perhaps these players, their hands might be ice cold after that epic slugfest. Spawning in the top right-hand side. Unfortunately, losing to that werewolf build. It is avocadolord. Huh? Because it's a beast map. I don't know what map they're talking about. But spawning in the bottom left-hand side, it is going to be MatthewN. I think last game, if avocadolord was a bit more aggressive with the raiders, but perhaps MatthewN was like, oh, you kind of lost that initial, well, not initial. You lost the initial, yeah, it was the initial game. Initial game of the raiders. Very, very bad. Maybe he'll try to play a little bit more defensive. I guess he did play defensive in that game as well. This is also very interesting. I don't know what this worker is here for. I'm confused. What is MatthewN doing? He's going to 2-den on here, over here. That's a very interesting place to 2-den. Why here? Why would you proxy here compared to anywhere else? The issue with this is that if your opponent comes in and scouts, you can actually scout that from the high ground. Like, why here and why not, like, here, you know? Does conscious leading teach you that game last game? No. Anyways. avocadolord going for also a bit of a mix-up here. Is going to go for a castle first. FE2 down on this. Oh, you did show me the teleporting werewolf. I wonder who figured that out. I wonder who that might be. Perhaps it might be me. Oh, wait, it is me. Maybe. I don't know. Or at least I believe I was the one who at least popularized it. But I think it was well known by then that you can do the popping thing with the workers. So you can like pop into some weird spaces with workers. But yeah, anyways, so it's going to be 2-den versus a FE2-den, and this is very difficult for the Beast player to defend. Or I guess they're both Beast players, so it's very difficult for the FE2-den player to defend. He's also going for a 12-den, it looks like, so it's going to be really difficult, even more so. And also, the one thing to note, he's not building his wolves dens in the wall. So on this map, you probably want to put one like in either here or here, just to prevent any units from going in. Also, you probably wanted to put one over here and had this castle one more to the left. But okay. This is going to be a difficult hold, but MatthewN is also playing a little bit more conservatively. He also, is a little bit supply blocked. This is a little bit because he didn't quite time his workers a little bit. You saw that a little bit of idle time in the beginning, so that's definitely something to be aware of. This build isn't as crisp, as practiced as it could have been. He's also just pulling up these wolves, going up to, looks like 5 so far. This is also a very risky play because, also a fortress on the way. This is very like yummy blah blah-esque play in my opinion. This is something that he really liked to do. Okay, he's going to cancel it. Oh, no, yes, maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, okay. You just want to get another wolf out before that. And yeah, this is going to be a very difficult hold. We have, it looks like it's going to be 7, versus just the 2. or potentially the 3. There are going to be workers here, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like, generally, if you do want to, surprise your opponent, you want to go at usually around 3 wolves or 5 wolves if you want to do that quote unquote surprise. Is it going to wait until 7? Is it going to wait until it looks like 9 as well? It's going to come in right now, and that's going to be a very difficult hold for avocadolord needs to pull. Yep, exactly. Pull all his workers. I wouldn't mind just pulling more workers here as well. I wouldn't mind just throwing down a tower here either way, but does not have the money to do so just yet. This wolf is going to spawn, but is not going to be trapped, so that is a very nice start, or very nice little bit of luck there. MatthewN not quite getting that trap. I think avocadolord can fight this, actually. Yeah, I feel like MatthewN waited a little bit too long, and that does mean that avocadolord does have a sizable number of wolves. He is trying to produce from his 2 dens as well. This is a supply block, which is going to be pretty huge. He hasn't even thrown down a tower, and it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a hold. So yeah, I feel like MatthewN a little bit of a missed opportunity, perhaps. But we do need to. Okay, he canceled this. I don't know why he canceled that, because I feel like he could have tried to go. Yeah, I think like a fortress would be excellent against this sort of play, especially if you're going for a beast, right? So I'm not quite sure why he canceled that, but he did cancel it. There's that tower. It's going to be thrown down right now, but that looks like it's not going to be quite in time. I do like the positioning of this, though. Even if this wolf then does go down, it's going to block entry into the main base. We have some micro going on from both sides. These wolves are very, very low, as well as these workers, but yeah, wolf falls over there. A worker falls over there as well. He's going to try to target down that worker, but I think that tower is going to complete. All these workers are very, very low. So far, 4 workers going down and 3 wolves on both sides as well. It looks like MatthewN might barely have enough. It did pull back all these weakened wolves, which is very, very nice micro, kind of keep them alive and save them for another day. Does need to continue building this. Yep, there we go. Is continuing to build that watchtower. And perhaps if he had just gone in with these wolves. So this is a very difficult decision to make. At the same time, you want to hold on to all of your weak wolves and let them regenerate. But those wolves are losing, by leaving those back, you're losing out on that DPS. This is 70 DPS or 60 DPS more or less that he was missing out on this fight. Yes, you kept them alive and you can come in with more later on. But yeah, this was a little bit of missed DPS. So the watchtower did complete, and it looks like avocadolord is able to hold, albeit it was very, very difficult. It was very, very knife's edge, perhaps, but he is able to hold. Number of workers at the end of that, 12 to 12. Natural base on the way for MatthewN isn't complete just yet. We have an advanced workshop as well as a fortress for avocadolord. So it looks like maybe he's reading him like a fiddle, but perhaps he's also just thinking, I'm just going to try to drop into the main. And but we'll see how this pans out. We have looked like an attempted surround from MatthewN. Didn't quite get it. It looks like. Yeah, okay, interesting. I'm not quite sure why he canceled that house and rebuilt it. I would prefer this house actually to be like here, just to, prevent that back area. Maybe not necessary, I guess, at this point, but we'll have to find out. This might be a free wolf pickoff. Yep, there we go. Free wolf, you take those. And we'll have to find out how this goes. MatthewN looking to take, looks like a 3rd base. This might be a little bit risky, especially if you haven't got the scout into the main base of your opponent. Because, yeah, okay, he's just going to pull that worker back. I think that's a smart decision. Wait, never mind. He's just going to go for it. But yeah, I think it's definitely risky, especially in Beast versus Beast. Dragons are very good, as well as werewolves. So werewolves and dragons are pretty much the 2 big trump cards in this sort of Beast versus Beast style. Werewolves just because they absolutely don't die to the wolves, and dragons because wolves can't shoot up. And boom, that's Beast versus Beast in a nutshell. We have double dragons that are coming up on the way for avocadolord, and this is going to be very critical that MatthewN is able to scout it. He is going to blindly throw down a ballista, so obviously a bit of a soul read over here, but I think that's a very valid decision to make. It could be werewolves though, so he does need to kind of be aware of that. I wouldn't mind even just getting a bird just to get this confirmation scout into the main base of avocadolord, but yeah, I think it's okay. going for this, it's a bit of a gamble for sure, but it also can take care of like werewolf drops, so it's not a huge, oh my goodness, this is a huge gamble kind of thing. I think it's a solid play. We have a third base on the way from MatthewN, and we're just going to go onto a macro game sort of, more or less, from here. So it's going to really come down to how much damage will these dragons do, and will they get scouted? Will they be able to do enough damage to justify the cost of staying on 2 bases? All these questions will be answered and more in the upcoming minutes. A little bit of a wolf skirmish over here. Looks like MatthewN going to go for a werewolf's den, so he's going to transition into werewolves to deal with this. We'll see how this pans out. I feel like MatthewN does have all the tools to deal with this. He has the advanced workshop, he has werewolves, and that's going to give him a ground advantage for sure. He has the map control, he has a third base. I think MatthewN is in a very good position, but it is going to come down to how much value these dragons are going to get. This is a bit of a poor fight from MatthewN though. Some good concave out of avocadolord, I think. He does get a wolf for free. Make that a second one, perhaps? Yep, there we go. And that's a very nice fight for avocadolord. I wouldn't mind just going across the map here as avocadolord. You haven't gotten a single scout in the entire game, so I think going across the map, seeing what's up. Is there a fortress? Is there this sort of third base? Is there this werewolf den? All very important questions that he needs to figure out, and he's going to send off that wolf just now. We have 2 dragons about to pop. There we go. As well as it looks like an attempt at a third base, but that is going to be denied by this wolf temporarily. The very nice position of these wolves. These dragons are going to get scouted immediately, and that should promptly trigger an additional ballista to be skewed up. Yep, there we go. And I think avocadolord is not going to be able to find the damage that he wants. I don't think he's going to be very happy when he sees this ballista already ready. Needs to drop it though. Yep, there we go. And yeah, these dragons forced to turn tail and go back home. At the same time, avocadolord taking a third base, but of course MatthewN's third base has been up and running for quite a while now, so definitely ahead in that regard. If we look at the economy so far, avocadolord is ahead because of that, of course, 2-den prolonged aggression, but it looks like he's going to be able to catch up right now. 670 versus 450 at the moment. So actually, wait, why is that the case? Huh? I'm a little bit confused. I guess the workers were being transferred, so... Oh no, that was the units lost. My bad. I was looking at the wrong one. But yeah, as you can see, MatthewN should be getting into a better position at the moment. We have these dragons chasing down some wolves. Not the best use of them, but like after seeing the ballista, you kind of have to do that. This wolf does get a scout on, does see the 2 dens as well as the third base, as well as the werewolf's den, so he knows exactly what's up. But that's going to be, an opportunity for avocadolord saying, okay, that's a lot of tech, that's a lot of money being invested. Perhaps I can do a little bit of damage, but instead he's just going to stay home and try to play it on from there. Dragons. Oh my goodness, my mouth isn't working today. My brain isn't working, but that's okay. Werewolf den on the way. There we go. For avocadolord is going to try to match that, but we do have an additional one for MatthewN. So yeah, he's going to have the tech advantage on the ground for sure. He's going to have werewolves versus no werewolves, but avocadolord did find an opening in the defense because these ballista are coming in to try to support this push. Avocadolord trying to find a empty, undefended natural base, and this is significant damage. That does mean that this push has to do a lot of damage, but yeah, this is a very nice opportunity for avocadolord because these ballista are being sent back to deal with these dragons, which does mean that these dragons in the air are going to be uncontested on the front line. So some excellent multitasking over here from avocadolord, forcing MatthewN back with the ballista while doing the damage at the front with the dragons as well. These ballistas are going to push these dragons back. Good explosive shot over there. But yeah, I think these dragons did their job, and even more so. We have a +1 armor on the way. This is exactly what you want if you're going to go for these werewolves. I do think that is very nice. And we have that werewolves then completing for avocadolord, so he's going to be looking to get a handful of werewolves of his own at the same time. And it looks like MatthewN was saying, okay, you know what, I actually can't go for that push. Q-fire over here. Explosive shot going to take down a dragon. Very, very nice. But yeah, MatthewN saying, I can't actually deal with this. I can't actually go across the map and kill you with this push, so I'm just going to try to play it on from here. Do want to note that MatthewN is actually very supply blocked. Isn't able to do anything right now other than, just go for the upgrades and throw down 2 houses at a time. He's also very behind on supply for some reason. I guess all the dragons, yeah, that makes sense. These dragons are going to come into the 3rd base. We have 3 werewolves then. I feel like this is a little bit too much for MatthewN. Yes, werewolves are good. Werewolves, they're very, very good, but you don't have the production to actually, build them right now, especially. So I don't know. That's a little bit of a mistake, I think. Also, these ballista were out of position. It's gonna take a whole bunch of damage for free, and it looks like avocadolords and multitasking is actually starting to wear down on MatthewN. Finding a lot of openings with these dragons, and I feel like he really shouldn't have been able to do that. MatthewN also gonna take a 4th base at the same time. Or at least attempt to, but these wolves look like they're going to be able to sneak on in and deny that as much as possible. And yeah, MatthewN has spent a lot. Yeah, like, why isn't he going for, I don't really get it. I guess he just doesn't have the money anymore. I guess he just doesn't have the money. This is why you probably don't want to be getting this many werewolves dens, because you don't have the money to produce off of it, right? So at the same time, we have these dragons trying to come in to find a new opening, but there is a ballista. That ballista is on move command, though. This might be a huge pickoff if MatthewN doesn't respond in time. The workers are being pulled, but it's a little bit too late, and that does mean that the ballista is going to go down. Very nice pickoff for avocadolord. Is going to try to come in and tear down some more workers, but the ballista airship is going to come back and ward these dragons away. He's going to lose another one at the end of it as well. We have a 4th base on the way for avocadolord as well, but that is going to be denied by these 2 wolves. Very, very nice, but this werewolf is going to deal with that as well. Yeah, I think avocadolord has actually navigated this mid-game much better than his opponent. He's done a lot of damage with those dragons, definitely catching MatthewN off guard, out of position with his anti-air, and he's been able to find damage. If we look at the units lost, it's about equal, but worker-wise at least, but all those workers that went down for avocadolord were from the early game, whereas the rest of them were from the mid-game. And, denying that push across the map was actually pretty huge as well. And, it looks like MatthewN is going to try to go for a werewolf ballista push again. He does have a significant number. I do love this counter, this run by. Excellent out of avocadolord. Going to try to attack into good hole position as well. Going to attack into the natural base, and this is looking like a very scary army, yes, but that does, avocadolord does have these werewolves at home as well. He's going to throw down a workshop at the same time as well, so it looks like he's going to have enough to defend against this, I feel like. These wolves are able to do a significant amount of damage, and yeah, once again, I want to just say that MatthewN kind of overmade these werewolf dens. He wasn't able to produce consistently out of all 3 of them. Definitely a mistake. And these dragons getting a few more easy, free damage. I guess the ballista are on the way. Needs to pull them back right now. Well, that's a huge mistake out of avocadolord. Explosive shot going on as well. That's a lot of dragons taking a lot of damage. And it's not what you want if you're avocadolord. But he does have the number of... I think he has just too much over here. He has let's look at looks like 5 werewolves versus 4, and that's very impressive. These wolves are being cleaned up. They were targeting down a watchtower, which I feel like might not have been the best idea. These werewolves going to come in and clean up these ballista, which are going to allow these dragons to reign supreme in the air, and I think this just might be it. We do have this. This is very nice, though. We have a werewolf drop coming in, but that might just run into the dragons. Nope, gonna flash or run away or fly away. Very, very nice. But yeah, MatthewN is stuck on 3 bases, whereas avocadolord was able to take the 4th base, which means he's in a very nice position. Also, didn't, this is definitely a mistake. Didn't actually continue building this animal testing lab. Definitely a mistake here. And a bit of a fight over here. Does need to pull that werewolf back. Is not going to be able to do so. And now we have a bit of a werewolf versus werewolf fight. We do have some catapults on the way for avocadolord as well. That's very, very important. Just adding that additional DPS. And this is still a very scary army. Ballista take care of the dragon, and the werewolves take care of everything else on the ground. Avocadolord being very, very smart. Going to pull all the workers away immediately. I think that's a great idea. He's going to even wall off the top. I think that's a great idea as well. Maybe, yeah, you want to put down a house or something over here. Yeah, it was a good idea, but didn't actually pan out because he wasn't actually, didn't throw this down very, very well either. But that's okay. Yes, this is a scary, scary army. But I don't think this is the end of the world because avocadolord could still lose this and, take a base on this side. Totally fine. MatthewN still on 3 bases. Is going to try to take a 4th base, but there is a wolf there. Very, very nice. MatthewN also going to be mining out of his main base at the same time. So he is in desperate need of another base. And we'll see if he's able to find that. Some good smashes going off on both sides. Doesn't he pull that back? Very nice. That was on like 2 or 3 HP. I was able to save it though. And I think with the catapults here, I think the ground army is actually going to start to go in favor of avocadolord. Does lose a werewolf there, but I think, yeah, there's just too many werewolves here for avocadolord. I do like the usage of this, though. This is also very, very nice. One little cute feature over here that, this is a 1x1 ramp, which means that the werewolves, being 2x2 units, can actually go across them. But with the additional reinforcements, it looks like maybe MatthewN might be able to push through. Perhaps not. We'll have to find out. Oh yeah, it looks like avocadolord doing a little bit sloppy with these werewolves. Yeah, good pullback over there from MatthewN as well. Where did all the dragons go? Oh yeah, here they are. They're denied the 3rd base, gonna come into the natural, and that does mean that this airship ballista is gonna be forced to come back and try to defend. And this 4th base might go down, but yeah, that also goes down MatthewN's army and also the chances of it in this game. I think this was a very exciting game. I really like this sort of game where it's very interesting. You have a little bit of mind games in the sense that he proxied his dens over here, waited for 7 wolves, that sort of thing. But looks like MatthewN unable to find the purchase in this push, and looks like he's just going to be taken down. I really do think that one of the biggest issues, it kind of feels like a small issue because, you can potentially overmake a production building, but I really think that had he not gone for these 3 werewolves dens, and I think he really would have been in a great position. Like, maybe even just ignoring those dragons when they did the counterattack and just saying, okay, you know what, I can just go across the map and win. But I don't know. You can kind of say that because, we're the spectator here, but really hard to make those sort of decisions on the fly when you're in game. If we look at the supply, MatthewN is half the supply of avocadolord. Yeah, I think this just might be it. This is a very scary army. Just going to come in and I think just steamroll this 3rd base here. This is really shaping up to be an excellent series. I'm really, really enjoying this. That is a werewolf almost being absolutely just demolished by these catapults. And yeah, with the catapult backline, I think there's just nothing that MatthewN can do. GG is called, and we're heading to a final decider map on Game 5. It's going to be really exciting, hopefully. And we'll find out what map it is. It is going to be Silent Fjord for the final map in this series. Yeah, this is an excellent series so far. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map. The aggressor in this series. Finding a little bit of purchase. Not necessarily in every single game, though. It's MatthewN. And spawning in the top right-hand side of the map. So far, had a very nice defense last game. Did lose to that werewolf build, but we'll see if he's able to pull off this victory in game number 5. It's avocadolord. All right, Silent Fjord. We'll see how this goes. I really do like the idea of trying to mix things up in game number 4 that both of these players did. We saw games 1, 2, and 3, they were all racks openings into whatever. But game number 4 was, okay, maybe this is time to mix things up. We saw avocadolord go for an FE2 den, and he was able to hold, versus MatthewN's just straight up 2 den. This might be potentially a place where both players also try to do something a little bit crazy, but it looks like it's just going to be racks on both sides. Okay, interesting. So back to basics, it looks like. Last game was whatever. We're just going to go back to the racks openings and see how it goes from there. And I do think that's a great idea. The racks openings are pretty good on this map. Once again, because of the flashpoint on the natural, it's very nice. One thing to note. So the pros and cons of the building placement. So this building placement of avocadolord does prevent the raider from flashing into the main base. So you can't flash 3 spaces in, which means raiders can't flash from here into the main base. However, if you're on MatthewN's side, a raider can definitely flash into the main base. So that is a critical difference. Yeah, and it's a small thing, maybe people don't know about it, but this is sort of games that actually can matter in these high level games of Littlewargame. Interestingly enough, MatthewN is going to go for this no unit out of the racks into a castle build, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know, it just kind of feels like you're trying to do a little bit of too much. You're trying to do a little bit too fancy. I don't know. It gives you that opportunity where if something does hit you very, very quickly, you are able to have that unit out. You're able to delay your castle, but I say delay your castle, but like just go for a unit before the castle. But I don't know. I feel like if you are going to go for an economic build, maybe you just go for bite the dust and go for the castle first. I don't know. But to be fair, I haven't actually experimented with this as much as I would like to. But yeah, in my mind, it's kind of like not ideal. I guess if you do go for this, going for the archers is probably the best because the raiders just build a little bit too slowly. So I do like the decision to go for the archer. But in this particular case, you're going to have an opening where there's only one archer to deal with this one raider. And that is very, very scary if you're the archer player. You're not going to have enough to deal with this. And it's going to be really scary. We'll see if avocadolord is able to take advantage of that. He's being very, very passive with this. Okay, he's going to flash in right now. He's going to get a hit off on the archer. Maybe might have been able to get another one, but he's going to play. Yeah, you can see these players' tendencies in the style, in like the way they control the raiders even. Avocadolord being a little bit more passive, not going to be trying to take risks over here. Whereas you've seen MatthewN try to be a little bit more risky with his raiders and with his game plan essentially as well. All right, avocadolord is going to finish up this natural base, but it's going to be delayed compared to his opponent because he delayed his unit production. And yeah, more or less in this game, MatthewN getting out of the opening with a small advantage. Not a huge advantage, but it is an advantage nonetheless. All right, avocadolord going to throw down a wolf's den. Going to be looking to play a bit of beast, it looks like. And I do like that because that's the sort of thing that he's really good at. You play to your strengths. Well, that's usually just a good idea. These raiders, I feel like they could have had the potential to do a little bit more. I feel like they had more potential to be a little bit more aggressive, to get a little bit more free hits, but is not going to be able to do so. Looks like MatthewN can try to take a third base very, very quickly. This is all off of one house, by the way. Very risky, but it looks like it's going to pan out right here, perhaps. Ooh, this is going to be a free archer, perhaps. avocadolord going to, yep, there we go, flash in. That is a archer going down for free. Definitely a bit of a mistake. And the fact is, if you see this, you see no archers in the natural, you got to kind of think, okay, where are those archers? I know you had a whole bunch of them. Where are they right now? And that's the question that avocadolord needs to be working. Oh, a little bit of a missed flash. He's going to lose a raider. I don't know about that. I think he could have use context clues, seeing no archers here. Where are his archers? Maybe they're going across the map. Maybe they're taking a third base. And maybe if he had just saying, okay, I see there's nothing here, I'm just going to actually, the quote-unquote counterintuitive move and just walk away, he might have gotten a little bit of a better ending to that engagement. But, oh well. I feel like if those 3 raiders had actually jumped on these 4 archers in the middle of the map, that would have been lights out. You wouldn't have been able to get this castle up, and it would have been more or less a disaster for MatthewN. But in this case, he's able to get away a little bit with a little bit of murder. It seems like good pull away of that archer or that worker, gonna keep it alive for as long as possible. Nice, very nice. And we have a cata drop on the way, it looks like, for MatthewN. avocadolord going to throw down a castle of his own, so we're going to go try to do a little bit of catch up in the macro department. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. MatthewN does want to probably transfer his workers over. Yeah, there we go. As I say that, he's going to transfer some of his workers over, but looks like avocadolord might be able to catch that transfer, get a worker free or kill for free or so. Okay, no workers down so far just yet. These archers are doing a very good job of actually just defending. And I would say MatthewN is in a very nice position. It's going to be a little bit tough to absolutely secure this third base, but once he feels secure at this third base, I think he'll be feeling very, very good about how the opening went. These raiders and these wolves come to find an angle. I'm not quite sure I like this house positioning, by the way. Probably would have preferred to see it like just to wall off, especially because you see those wolves. You don't want to get those allow the wolves in. But yeah, I digress. Third base is now up for avocadolord. He also has a second wolf's den, so it's going to be, yeah, okay. With the animal testing lab, that absolutely confirms he's going to be leaning into that wolf, that beast sort of play that he is very, very fond of. This raider going to try to come in and get that scout. Here's that, a little bit of a mistake there. Definitely a missed flash from avocadolord. I was going to say, here's where that difference in SimCity is going to come into play, but in this case it does not actually come into play. Not seeing this cata drop is going to be pretty critical, and there's going to be basically no anti-air on the other side of the map. Not basically, there is going to be no anti-air on the other side of the map, so this cata drop definitely has potential to do a lot of damage, and we'll see if that's going to be the case in this game. These wolves and these raiders still looking to do a little bit of damage, still trying to find an opening, but the archers are well positioned. Good flash forward, does get maybe a hit off. I don't think he actually got a hit off though. I think it was barely out of range, but we do have this cata drop. That's going to be something that we need to keep an eye on. We'll see how much damage that's able to do. I do like this sort of sharking around of avocadolord. Yeah, I do also like this just splitting off the wolf. He probably wants to split off the wolf on this side as well, and he wants to stay on his side of the map, or keep his opponent on his side of the map. But yeah, this cata drop is going to come into the third base of avocadolord more or less unknown, or not recognized just yet. It's going to respond in time, only does get take one shot here. That second catapult was actually shooting this worker that was building the house, so definitely a bit of a mistake. At the same time, a bit of a pick off over here for avocadolord. Does get a soldier for free, it looks like. It's going to even flash out. Okay, I thought he would maybe flashed in, and that would have been a little bit crazy, but that's okay. This cat drop isn't actually doing as much damage as it could be doing. It's going to try to target down this animal testing lab. I don't think that's a great idea. I guess you are denying the third base mining, but you want to be trying to target as many workers as possible before any sort of anti-air comes. The ballista is only about now going to be halfway done, so there still is a lot of opportunity. MatthewN not targeting finding the workers at all. What is he busy doing? He's busy trying to take a fourth base, which I think is a great idea. But maybe he should be focusing a little bit more on this cata drop, trying to do a little bit more damage. Those are some nice shots. That's a lot of damage over there, but is going to be able to run away with that. And here comes that first ballista, so that does mean the longevity of this airship or this cata drop is going to start to wane. MatthewN gonna try to drop on the low ground over here. So far, no workers going down a single wolf, it looks like. So only just a single kill, yep, so far. And that's obviously not ideal. At the same time, MatthewN is, very happily taking a 4th base for free. I do love the position that MatthewN is in, except for the fact that he didn't do as much damage as he could have done, I feel like. A little bit of a run in onto the 4th base location, but it's gonna be chased away. I think MatthewN is in an excellent position over here. The supplies don't say that, but I do think he is actually in an excellent position. Yeah, okay. So looks like avocadolord attempting to take a 4th base all the same. I think that's a great idea, but yeah, he needs to actually just shut this down and maybe even start to get aware or get that scouting information that this 4th base is up and running. As I say that, for MatthewN. This cattle drop is going to see the 4th base attempt for avocadolord, and if you see this, you're very happy if you're MatthewN here, just recognizing how far ahead you are. And he's going to try to push into the bottom side. Very nice. No workers here, though. Workers would be very nice, I feel like. Oh, the units are a little bit derping out, so that's definitely a mistake. Losing this airship might actually be huge as well if he does lose it. A little bit of a missed dropped opportunity for avocadolord. And these units they're not in the best position. They were kind of derping out that entire time because of the AI here. And yeah, I feel like this army is not in the best position. It's going to be absolutely surrounded and decimated, perhaps, with these wolves if they get into the correct position. So we're going to see how much damage these catapults can do with the splash damage. Not the best micro here out of MatthewN, not kiting back. And I think this is going to be a little bit of an overextension for sure for MatthewN. I feel like this could have been a lot better. Had he actually kept his drop alive, had he been a bit more active with that and, kept a portion of avocadolord's army busy, I think it would have been a little bit better. Or maybe even if he had brought some workers, maybe caught into this position, walled off the back, and so that, he has to engage into a very poor position. I think that might have been a little bit better, but that was an excellent fight for avocadolord. I think that basically evens up the game more or less. But we do have the tech coming in from MatthewN. We have Mage's Guild, Fireball on the way. Mages have not been started just yet, it looks like. Yeah, no, not just yet. So that's a little bit of a mistake. The first mage is going to be started right now. Where is the army? Okay, here it is. Looks like this is a very nice run by over here from avocadolord. Going to try to do as much damage as he can to this workers. And the work count is still even right now, more or less, 34 to 36. But yeah, in the past minute or so, very nice, cute house block over here by MatthewN. Very nice. I love that. But yeah, the last minute or so has been all just MatthewN just dropping the ball a little bit, it looks like. He's going to send a soldier over here to do a little bit of harassment. Good hold position there, by the way. Very nice. Looks like these 2 archers are going to get surrounded and taken down for free. Maybe just one of them. Ooh, that's a risky workshop. I would prefer if he had tried to do it over here, but... Oh, okay, he's going to try to pick it up with the airship, perhaps. Oh, but this is very, very nice. Avocadolord even also doing the same thing with the airship. Gonna circumnavigate this this wall that he was attempting to set up. You can even do the same with more wolves, but yeah, he's gonna do exactly just that and gonna come into this base. Yeah, avocadolord has been absolutely on fire for the past 2 minutes or so, getting some good trades on this side of the map as well, and he's in a very strong position. However, it's not the end of the world for MatthewN. The supplies are looking dire, but we do have to think about the potential for these mages. These mages are going to be very, very scary against just pure wolf snake. So if MatthewN holds, if he can build up a critical number of mages and just walk across the map, get some huge fireballs, he can actually potentially win this game. It's not quite over. Yeah, a whole bunch of workers did fall. So far, 27. So that was 10 more or 10 less than the last time we checked. More, and yeah, the constant counterattack is going to continue here. Just an excellent run by here from avocadolord, finding holes here and there in the defense of MatthewN. And this really comes down to losing that army on the other side of the map. Once you lose that army, it allows so much freedom for that for the wolf the beast player, the wolf snake player, to go across the map and deal as much damage as he would like, right? If that army had not been taken care of, even if he doesn't lose it, even if he just says, I'll just move back, there's still that big army threat, right? So avocadolord wouldn't be able to do this sort of run by, but because that army was taken down, he's able to do so. He's going to show this mage tech with that fireball, so that's going to be a very nice win over here in this fight for MatthewN, but that does give that information to avocadolord that, hey, mages are on the field, I need to do something else. And instantly going to throw down 2 werewolf dens. So werewolf dens, on paper, sometimes they might not actually be the best use or the best case against these mages, because slow field is a thing, and if slow field werewolf can't attack. And GG, but in practice, it's a little bit more difficult than that. Number one, you need to, if you do want to go for that slow field sort of play, you have to be on top of your kiting and your micro, right? So it's not exactly an easy thing to do. Number two, you need to have a little bit of DPS in your army if that is to actually do the damage, right? So far, we've had only armor upgrades for MatthewN, which means that even if he slows down the werewolves, those werewolves won't actually be dying to anything other than these catapults that he's starting to add in right now. Hello? Am I looking at the wrong player? No, he's just adding them in from here. Okay. I forgot about that initial. So it works if he has that high DPS or whatever to actually deal with the werewolves once they're slowed. But yeah, it's going to add in another workshop. So I think that's very nice. We do have some dragons coming on the way as well. So avocadolord has been free to do actually everything on his side of the map. Taking a 5th base, going to throw down, werewolves dens, going to throw down dragon slayers. So looking like he's in a very nice position, but you can't really count MatthewN out just yet. He's going to have a sizable army. He's going to have real big push when he's maxed with a whole bunch of mages, with a whole bunch of energy, and that might just be enough for the killing blow. I feel like this is a little bit premature, though, if he's going to go across the map right now, because he doesn't have those mages. He only has 2 mages with his army, and they're pretty healthy energy-wise, but you would like to see a bit more. You would like to see a bit more from a little bit more sophistication, a bit more harder to engage army. Maybe some more catapults with this army, maybe definitely some more mages. But this is a very nice pick off. Losing that airship ballista does mean that Kataros potentially can be on the main, but this is also buying enough time for avocadolord to respond with his wolf snake army. Is going to try to go across and catch this army. It looks like there was an attempt at a run by, but full wall means no run by. And this is going to be a very, I don't think this is enough just army for MatthewN. He's also got a lot of his army to the top side, a little bit split off for sure. And this looks like this is going to be an excellent fight for avocadolord here. Fireballs are being thrown down, but only 2 of them, and that's not going to be enough. There aren't enough mages over here. We have a little bit of whole position micro out of MatthewN. More fireballs coming in, but I don't think that's quite enough either. I think this is just another poor fight from Matthew. You really shouldn't have taken this fight, I feel like. Yes, you're kind of feeling like, I need to do some damage. I need to do some damage across the map. I've been stuck on my side of the map the entire time. He took a 5th base. I need to deny that. But the thing is, you can't do that when you don't have the ultimate quote-unquote army. Had he done this right now, waited to this, he would have had more or less maxed out supply. He would have had 6 more mages. He would have had 2 more catapults, and in that case, I think he wins that fight. But because he went across the map a little bit prematurely, I don't think he took the best fight that he could have. I think he was just, this is also a mistake. He's going to try to get a fireball off. Doesn't quite get any kills, though. A little bit unfortunate. But yeah, it's really bad. It feels bad because you're giving your opponent a ton of time. They could be transitioning into dragons, which in this case he is. They could be transitioning into like catapults as well. But I think it's better to do it that way than to try to go across the map prematurely and try to win. But Oh well, right now he just has too many mages, right? These mages are excellent, right? You know, they'll do a whole bunch of damage. They'll throw down all these fireballs, throw down a whole bunch of the slow fields, but he doesn't have that backbone of the army. He doesn't have the archers and the soldiers that he had he waited for it in this push. So, and also all these mages are out of energy now, which means that he won't be able to do a counterattack even if he cleans this up spectacularly, right? Yeah, this is just definitely not the best position for MatthewN here. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might just be it. Yes, he took a very nice fight. Yes, he kept all his mages alive, right? And these mages will regenerate, and they will be, back for more later on. But look at the economy for avocadolord. Has 7th base now. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's a 6th base. I can't math. But yeah, he's just so far ahead. He's even throwing down Forge for the catapults for upgrades. Yeah, he's just in an excellent position. And it's really hard on this map as like a slower army, like aka this Rax army, to knock down all the bases. Because let's say you attack this base, but oh, what about this base, right? And then let's say you're like, okay, fine, I'll just attack this base with my army instead. And then they have this base up again. And then that's when you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, I got your point. I'll attack on both sides with half my army. But in that case, you just lose one of your army because you're outnumbered on one side, and then you lose the other side as well. So it's definitely a huge dilemma for the Rax player in this sort of case. And avocadolord, fully aware of that, is going to throw down 5 towers everywhere, basically saying, okay, I'm just going to stay safe. I'm just going to hold. I have too much money. I'm just going to throw down towers here and there and everywhere, and I'll be totally fine. And I think that's a great idea. Great play out of avocadolord. He's also going to try to engage on the other side, the opponent's side of the map, which is exactly what you want to be doing, because beast you can remax, but you're not going to win a maxed out fight versus a maxed out fight. But guess what? You don't have to win just one fight. You have multiple tries at it. Look, he's going to get decimated in this fight, but that's going to be okay. You're going to be able to rebuild much faster than your opponent. You're also going to be able to, just take another fight if he decides to go across the map. So the dilemma with the Rax player is that if you go across the map immediately, you're out of energy. You don't have the mage energy for fireballs and stuff like that. You're going to get shut down. But if you don't go across the map right now, you're not going to be able to capitalize on this advantage that you have in the army. So MatthewN is going to decide, I'm just going to go across the map. I think that's a good idea. He did use quite a bit of fireballs though, so that does mean he doesn't have enough fireballs. He also lost a whole bunch of soldiers as well, so he's going to rebuild them right now. Yep. But this is going to be a very tough yeah, this is going to be very tough for MatthewN. But this is possibly the best opportunity he's going to get in this game, right? Otherwise, avocadolord is just too far ahead. He's got bases for days. He's got money for days. He's got production for days. So MatthewN needs to kill right now. I don't like this this decision to go across to the top left. I think you need to come in, camp the production, say you can't build any more units. That's it. You don't have an army anymore, and it doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't have an army. If you don't have the ability to create an army. But yeah, even so, I feel like this might be a little bit too much. Even pulling all the workers is MatthewN to try to do this one-hit, KO that he's going to attempt to do. But avocadolord already got some catapults. He's got werewolves. He's got the potential for dragons as well, and he's got a ton of money. He's got towers in every single base, even his opponent's bases, quote unquote. So, yeah, this is looking like it might just be the end. Oh, losing these ballista might be huge too. If you lose these ballista, that opens up the potential for a dragon transition in the end as well. Yeah, I think this just might be it. This is still a scary army, yes. And if they all line up for a whole bunch of... Oh, that's a huge smash, though. If they all line up for a whole bunch of fireballs, it might just be possible. Huge fireballs there, by the way, getting a whole bunch of wolves. But there's still this backbone of the catapults in the back. And the mages are slowly running out of energy. And I think might be it, yeah. Oh, wow, an excellent series. But I think avocadolord might barely have enough to hold. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. He's also cleared up this side as well. Yeah, I think this just might be a little bit too much, though. Yeah, the fireballs, they're good and all, but Okay, going back to that situation where he was moving across the map prematurely, what could he have done better? I think he could have, tried to stall it out a little bit more. Tried to go for maybe some more counter drops, maybe some mage drops potentially, right? Just to keep your opponent busy while you are actually building up that army. Anyways, back to this game though, or back to the current stage of the game. Some good spread out of avocadolord. We do have 2 more mages coming in from the backside as reinforcements to the fray, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be enough. The catapults are still raining down terror from above, or from the back lines. This is going to be, eventually MatthewN is going to run out of fireballs, and he's just not going to have enough. Look at the supply. He's at 88 supply versus 130. He's also down significantly in workers because he just hasn't been able to mine, because he's mined out of his main, he's mined out of his natural. He doesn't have an additional basis to mine with. He also pulled a whole bunch of workers for that attack, and I think this is just it. Yep, I think this is just it. I guess one thing to note is that maybe avocadolord could have gone a little bit higher up in the worker count. Especially if you are on this number of bases, you can afford to go up to maybe like 45 to 50 workers. Yes, that's a little bit much, but in this sort of map where you have different edges of the map, and it takes forever for an army to go from one corner to the other, I think it's okay to get a little bit higher up in the worker count over here. These fireballs more or less missing everything, and this is going to be more or less, I think, the end of the game. I mean, yes, these mages have gotten a ton of value, 3, 4, 5-ish kills for each of these mages, but yeah, this attempt at a 4th base, or a 5th base, excuse me, is going to be shut down, and MatthewN's forced to just back off with the mages here. This is very cute, trying to get the most value out of all of his units, but yeah. Yeah, there's not much more to say, I feel like. A little bit of friendly fire. This is a very nice pick-off, though. I'm going to take down that airship with the ballista inside. Maybe, maybe he goes for some cata drops, and cata drops every single base, I don't know. This is a very huge surround, though, for avocadolord, coming in from both sides. A little bit of a 360 surround, and I think MatthewN might just GG here. Let's able to squirm his way out of it, more or less, though. That's actually a pretty nice escape, but I do like that he kept this airship here just for that vision. That's going to be really huge. But yeah, the MatthewN is at 75 supply, whereas avocadolord is maxed, floating like 1.5k or 1.1k it was. Now it's at 8k because he's throwing down like a castle here and everything. But yeah, I think this is going to be it. Mages are good, but they're not that good. He's also going to be starting to mine out. Yeah, he mined out from his 3rd base as well. So he's only mining from one base. The base that he's looking to take has already has towers and a castle being made as well. A little bit of induced friendly fire. I love that sort of thing. But MatthewN just doesn't have enough here. It's just mages, and most of these mages are out of energy, out of mana. Some more fireballs being thrown, but yeah. These workers were able to steal some minerals or some gold, but yeah. A really, really nice series from both players. MatthewN playing the role of the aggressor in the entire series. Unfortunately, wasn't able to close it out. GG, well played is called. And that's going to be the end of the series. An excellent series. I think this was definitely one of my favorite in the entire tournament so far. But has come to an end. That does mean, let's take a look. The Alpha League Finals is going to be Weird Rat versus Avocadolord. It's going to be a best of 7. It's going to be every single map potentially in the map pool. And I hope you'll tune in for that one later on. And yeah. It's going to be really exciting. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.